Hello, everyone. Who said? Who said it would be impossible? Nothing's impossible. If you have a passion and you've been frustrated, don't give up. Just keep going. Even the Dalai Lama said that. Lots of people have said it. Don't give up. Speaking of not giving up, Nvidia is not giving up. Now, I did a video a couple of days ago, and I said probably the price action would be Nvidia goes down, then Nvidia shoots up, perhaps to new highs, which it most certainly has done. But then after that, there's risk of a crash. Okay, so that doesn't sound a popular thing to say, does it? But I'm here to help you not say the popular thing and make you feel good about whatever you already believe. Because human beings, we believe what we want to believe. I mean, that's our number one data sorting process. I want to believe what I already believe, so I'm going to filter the data that way. Okay, so Nvidia could be going twice, 200, 300% higher. There's no doubt about that. It could be doing that because look what Bitcoin did, and Bitcoin's very suspect fundamental argument. I'm sorry to offend all of you, most of you millennials, but I'm being a bit disrespectful. I'm sorry, but these podcasts from now on, they're not going to be about respect. They're going to be about helping you. So, I probably just lost a big part of my audience. This is what I think is happening. We're time traveling. We're experiencing 1928. If you ever wondered what it was like to trade stocks in 1928, this is it, where everyone's excited. The only thing is, the rest of the market stock prices aren't going up. The Magnificent Seven's only in that Magnificent 3 or 4 now. They're falling away like flies. Nvidia is streaking higher. And if you're a conservative, maybe older person like me, but a lot of people my age or even younger have diversified stock portfolios, and they're looking at their other stocks wondering why they're not going up. Well, because the Russell 2000 didn't do much at all. Unless this exuberance, excitement gains breadth in the broader market. And there were signs of it doing so in the last few weeks. And I suggested that could be a scenario at the beginning of the year. There were signs the market was gaining breadth and people were going, well, if the US 500 index is at new highs, I'm going to buy stocks. Because human beings respond to recency, frequency, intensity. That's all they do, as well as wanting to be part of the herd, okay? Because they're basically insecure. So recency, frequency, intensity. And when you look at Nvidia, it's all good. Recency, frequency, massive intensity to the upside. But a 16% rally, I guess, there was a big leap in revenue, but a big leap in revenue was expected and maybe even necessary. They do have 80% of the market. So they have an actual strong fundamental story. Which means that you cannot underestimate how high they can go. Now, the really best part of all of this is that we now know where the signal is for a 1929 style top. So we're in 1928, exuberance. Look, we all are interested in the stock market. What are you thinking today? You're thinking, do I hold on? This is what most people are thinking anyway. Do I hold on to my average kind of stocks that are kind of performing? Some are, some aren't. Or do I maybe get out of those because they're just not kicking on the way Nvidia is and get into Nvidia and some of these tech stocks? What I think happened in the last 24 hours is that markets, price makers, basically there were no sellers, and that's why the market went up. So anyone who wanted to sell Nvidia did not do it yesterday. So the reason for the big rally, no sellers, everyone wanting to buy, but even just a handful of buyers would have created this exaggerated move, because if you're trying to buy something, there's no one to buy it from, the price goes mega. That's what we've just seen. If the move is justified, it's not going to, Nvidia will never go back under the lows of the past week if this up move is going to be sustained. And that's true of the US 500 index and the NASDAQ as well. If they were to begin to fall back, the three of them, but basically we've reached a point where the whole world's global equity markets and other financial markets are being impacted by just one stock. If that doesn't suggest to you there's kind of this Eiffel Tower effect until there's nothing left and then it implodes on itself, I don't know what will. But as I said, they have a strong fundamental story, 80% of the market, and they're the first mover and all that sort of thing. But look at Tesla. Tesla was the same. They had a massive market share, first mover, great technology, still do. Still, I'm an Elon Musk supporter, and I think Tesla is a great company, but that doesn't mean their stock price can't fall. And that's what I said a while back, a couple of years ago. And, the whole EV thing could be, going to give way to hydrogen, which would make all these EV investments a little bit suspect. But anyway, look what happened to Tesla. Now, they're still making great cars. So Nvidia could keep making great chips and gain even market share and be doing very well, but its share price could fall if once, basically, this is what markets are, once everyone who wants to buy it has finished buying it, it can only go down. Except these days, around the world, people are forced to give part of their hard-won paycheck to a fund manager every month so they can invest it for them. That flow of capital plus the Biden-generated sort of boom in terms of excess capital floating around the United States and the world, that fiscal crisis spending is also feeding, obviously, liquidity. So if the liquidity is coming in every month, where is it going to go? It's going into some of these other stocks, and it's going to now perhaps increasingly go into Nvidia. Or are some of these fund managers going, you know what? That's a huge rally. Maybe it can't be sustained. Maybe we should take some profits next week or Friday a little bit. Maybe. Or Friday will kick on because a whole lot of people aren't very close to the market, are only going to hear about it on their Friday morning news or their Thursday night news, Friday morning news. So there could be some follow-through buying for the next 24 to 72 hours into Nvidia. And if it consolidates and it builds and it goes higher, you could get rich buying Nvidia here even. Okay, there is a strong fundamental story. But the rest of the market isn't coming. And the US economy is actually slowing. And there are big flashing red warning lights about that. And most stocks aren't coming with this process. Could that change? One of two things will happen. Either Nvidia will burst a little bit higher and begin to correct as people take profits, or everyone will want to buy every stock all of a sudden. And I don't see that as the most likely scenario. So what I'm saying to you is, how to trade this now is, if Nvidia makes a new high on Friday, do a bit of a day trade, go long, but I'd have a very tight stop loss on it. If Nvidia begins to break down, be careful, because that could be some very large funds and holders of the Nvidia stock beginning to unload, and markets can be volatile. So overall, on the day, oil's corrected more than I would like. I'm a lover of the oil price, but I still like it. I have trouble not going away for the weekend being long oil and gold in case some geopolitical thing happens. The US dollar, as I've said, it's confusing between yield and fiscal crisis. Hard one to figure out, actually. Long term, US dollar bear. Am I bearish the US dollar near term? Not so sure. Equities, I've outlined. Australian equities. I'm a seller of any rally on the back of Nvidia because it's only Nvidia driven. The US stock market didn't make new record highs. An index, one or two indexes did, and Nvidia did. Most stocks actually kind of went sideways. So just be careful sort of getting too excited in the Australian market over that. But if you're overseas, you don't really care about the Australian market. I'm a seller of the Australian dollar, but not so convincingly. That's about it, okay? So the whole world is super excited about Nvidia, and maybe it can do a Bitcoin 200, 300% from here, or maybe this was a last gasp moment. watch that price action. We start to fall back even 50% of that 16% gain. Nvidia might be topping out. Otherwise, it could be an interesting buy still. Leave it with you. I know I did sort of one hand bullish, one hand bearish, but I think the warning that this could be an unexpected top, as in 1929 for the whole market, is one to consider. All right, have a great day. All the best. Thank you very much. Don't forget to visit my website, cliffordbennett.com.au. You can sign up for a free newsletter and you can start getting my kind of more specific market stuff. All right, have a look anyway. I hope it helps. All right, all the best. Cheers. Bye.